Hi there, Jean Greer here at Stylish Fireplaces. Today I want to introduce you to the Dimplex Ignite series of linear electric fireplaces. Before I do that, please remember to like this video wherever you're watching it and to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. So the Dimplex Ignite series of linear electric fireplaces was one of the original electrics to come out in this very low profile shape. So it's about 16.5 inches tall, regardless of the width, and it is made to fit into a 2x6 wall. And then it comes in various widths from 50, 60, 74, and 100 inches wide. So it was one of the originals, but since then you'll see many electric linears on the market with similar proportions. It is made to be fully flush in a 6-inch wall or a 2x6 framing. But if you have only 2x4 framing, there is an optional semi-flush trim kit that you can see on my 74-inch unit here. And the purpose of that is for taking this 6-inch deep fireplace and putting it into a 2x4 wall. Some of that fire is going to stick out of the wall, and so the semi-flush trim kit will take up and cover that part that's sticking out and make the fireplace look finished. If you have 6 inches of wall and you're going to be fully flush, you do not need this trim kit. So you don't need to order that if you're going to build your wall 6 inches deep and make the fireplace fully flush. It is a dual voltage unit, so you can connect it to 120 volts like all electric fireplaces. You can also connect it to 240 volts, and that gives you more power for the heater, so that you do have the option of, on 120 volts, you could heat up to about a 400 square foot area. On 240 volts, you're going to be able to heat up a larger area, or you'll heat up a smaller area more quickly. So it is a nice feature to have if the area you're putting it in is a little colder than the norm. And of course, like all electrics, you can operate the flames and the lights without the heater on at all. So it truly is a year-round fireplace. You've got a great remote here with your heating and thermostat functions. The heater has a lot of extra functions on it. It has an eco function, which is meant to save energy, so it keeps the fan at the lowest possible setting, regardless of the temperature in the room that it's trying to reach. So with this Dimplex heater on the Ignite series, the fan will modulate itself to make the heat more or less depending on the difference between the temperature you've set for the room and the temperature that you want the fireplace to get you to. So let's say your room is at 68 degrees and you want it at 70 degrees. The fan is going to modulate itself to get you to that temperature. So the bigger the gap between the temperature in the room and the temperature you want, the harder the fan wants to work to get you there more quickly. The eco setting keeps the fan at the lowest settings to save energy. I call it the TV feature because it also means that the fan is at the lowest sound level. And although the fans are very quiet generally, this setting keeps it at the very lowest level. And so it's a great feature when you want the heater to keep working, but you don't want the fan to modulate up to a higher setting when you're in the middle of watching a movie. And then you do have the heat boost function, which is a timed setting that pushes the fan to its highest level and gets the room up to temperature faster. So if you come into a space and it's quite cool and you need to get the temperature up quickly, you would hit the heat boost. You've got 5, 10, 15, or 20-minute settings, and it will run at the highest level for that timed amount, and then it will go back to whatever it was doing before that. Otherwise, you just set the temperature you want in the room, and it will modulate the fan for you to keep you at that temperature. If you don't want any heat at all, you don't have to have the heater on. Like all electrics, you can have the flames without the heat. You'll notice that the flame here is a natural color. It's a natural sort of yellow color. That is a Dimplex signature, and the flame on this unit cannot change color. What can change color are the lights around the flame. So you see some red light around my top unit there. The bottom unit has a blue light. Those are all changeable. So I can change through different colors. There are about 5 presets, and then at 6 and 7, it will rotate through multiple colors, and it will just keep rotating. But if there's a particular combination I really like, I can stop it when it gets to that combination. I can just pause it there, and it will hold at that combination until I release the pause. So, and of course, I don't have to have any of those colored lights on at all. If I want to turn all of the lights off, I just go back to that setting and leave all of the colored lights off. So I can have extremely natural, or I can add an aurora borealis effect around the flames, but the flames themselves are not changing color, so it remains that very natural looking flame. Aside from the color and the shape of the flame here, what you really need to understand, and it is hard to show on a video, Dimplex uses a reflective backing, and because of that, the flame appears to be coming up through the center of the fireplace as if there were a burner there. Of course, with electric, there is no burner. But if there were, the flames would be in the center of the fireplace. And Dimplex has managed to achieve that effect in an electric. And that's something that no other electric really can do or emulate. So it's not easy to see on a video, but it is something you will really appreciate when you see it in person. So something to keep in mind, because you read, okay, the color of the flame is nice, the shape is fine, but what makes this so special? It really is that effect of having the burner in the middle. So it is a Dimplex Ignite or XLF series linear electric. You can find it at stylishfireplaces.ca. Search by brand, look for Dimplex, and then Ignite.